Well, good morning, everyone. We're delighted to break into your day here in the social media world and introduce you to one of the title sponsors for the Church Network TCN National Conference. I have Rodney James on the screen with me. Rodney is a part of our title sponsor, and he works with a company. He's president of a company that is one of the 5 title sponsors, Master's Plan, Church Design and Construction. Rodney, thanks for being with us today on the stream.
Thank you, Phil. Honored to be here and honored to be a part of the conference again this year.
So we've kind of been in a pivot here from what's normally an in-person meeting. Many organizations are going through this, and I know you've been a part of our on-site conference for many years. We're in our 64th year, so tell us a little bit about your experience with the Church Network and our national meeting.
Well, it's, my experience with the Church Network goes back a long ways, because for 7.5 years, I served as a church administrator and went through the certification process and all of that back in my days of serving in ministry. I was in ministry for 20 years and a member on the other side. And when God transitioned me out of full-time church ministry into serving pastors and churches through building and designing churches all over across the country, I had the opportunity to step in as a partner, a resource partner, and been a part of the conference for, this will be my 9th year to be a part of the conference, and just always honored and enjoy the interaction with the people, the time that we get to spend meeting them and hearing what God's doing in their churches. But on the other hand, being able to serve them, help them, partner with them so that they don't have to go it alone, and come along beside them to help them in the process of designing and building and expanding and remodeling and all those things that we do in the facility side of ministry.
I love how you slipped that tagline that the Church Network uses, "Don't go it alone." It's certainly been an interesting season for all of us, as we have since been alone, but we continue to connect through all the technology and so forth. We've got you down scheduled the conference structure that we're doing, which is July 8th, 9th, and 10th. It is an online virtual event, and we've got 5 workshop periods and 5 offerings in each of those workshops, and then about 40 on-demand workshops that are available. I know you're one of the live workshops, and I think you're on Thursday afternoon. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Got the Thursday afternoon 2 or 2:30 slot, and excited about that. That's this one's a great one for us. I've done this. I've done a workshop with you almost every year I've been there, and appreciate the opportunity to do that. I love educating pastors and churches, and we're going to talk about the timeline of a construction project in the workshop I'm doing this year. So we're going to look at the macro timeline. Everybody knows that when you go into construction, you have a schedule, but what about all the stuff that happens before we get to construction? We got to borrow money. We need to raise money. We need to design a building. We need to evaluate our current facilities. Maybe you're buying land. Maybe you're buying another building. So where do you start at the very beginning, and how do you work your way through that process in a biblical manner? Because there is a biblical process here. God reveals it very clearly in Exodus and Nehemiah and other books of the Old Testament and New Testament. God talks about building a lot. Jesus spoke specifically about building, counting the cost. And so we're going to look at that process as a biblical process, but also as a practical process of how do you get from the beginning to the end of a construction project, and not just the design. Everybody wants to, hire an architect, jump in, get a design, show the pictures, the renderings and all that stuff. And that is exciting. But if you don't take the steps that should be in front of that in the right order, what happens is, unfortunately, far too many times, those concepts get shown to a congregation and they never get developed, never get to be built. And so what we want to do is help you understand that process so that you don't miss some of those front end steps, and your project can be successful all the way through, and you don't have to back up at any point or spend some money that has to be literally wasted, not good stewards of. So it's an exciting topic. I'm excited to have the opportunity to hopefully get some interaction and have some conversation about those steps and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, and the platform you'll be on will allow that kind of conversation back
Good.
and forth, so that it's not a matter of just we're feeding a video to you and there's no way to do interaction and have conversation. I know, of course, we're hoping a lot of folks that are hearing this stream are going to jump over to tcnconference.com and register. We would love to have you do that, but not everybody's going to be able to do that. And so I know that some of them will possibly want to get some help that's there. And I think you guys have just recently added a feature to your website that might be helpful to folks if they're trying to kind of decide about the things you've been talking about. You want to say a few words about that new opportunity?
Absolutely. We just launched last month Master's Plan University, and I'm really excited about this resource. Every day we're having people sign up from all across the country. And literally what we're trying to do is, I say this, Phil, a lot of times it's not what churches don't know that hurts them. It's what they don't know that they don't know.
Right.
And so what questions do we ask when we engage an architect, when we start looking to buy land, when we think about buying a building? So what God gave me the opportunity to do is to put together Master's Plan University, which is a number of short videos, some ebooks, some printed materials, some articles, but most importantly, these videos, and we're releasing them on a regular basis. I'm doing them on a regular basis so that it's continual free resources. Everything is absolutely free. All you have to do is, sign up for the Master's Plan University. And we're going to talk about some of these topics that we're going to address in this conference, but we're going to get to go into more detail and have some discussion in the conference, in the workshop. But these videos are just answering these questions. What are the right steps? What's the right order? What do I do first? How do I borrow money? How do I do a capital campaign? All of those things. And so Master's Plan University is a free resource to administrators, pastors, executive pastors to log on and watch. Some of them are as short as a minute, minute and a half, and some of them are 6 to 7 minutes. Most of them aren't any longer than that. And it's just packed and loaded with great resource information for again, pastors and churches who may be thinking about remodeling, expanding, building new construction, relocating your campus. We address all of that, even right down to how do you cast vision? How do you raise money? All of those kind of things. So exciting resource, and excited about what God's going to do to help the church through that.
Yeah, we just put up the URL to that on the screen there. Your regular website, mpchurchdesignbuild.com/MPU. I've spent a little time on the site. It's really well done. It's really very easy to navigate. So sorry I didn't have that when I was doing some master remodeling 20 years or so ago. So, well, Rodney, thanks today for your time. And I know you have lots going on. You told me you are still able to travel and be a part of a lot of the work. Rodney's got a special deal going. He's a pilot, and so he's able to have a nice plane with social distancing, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Very blessed to have the opportunity to still get to serve churches through this very unique time. So many of them got caught right in the beginning. They were in the middle of a project or had already started a project. God had given the vision for that. And most all of our pastors just said, God called us to do this before all of this corona hit. And so that didn't change God's circumstances. So they pressed forward, and we were able to just continue to serve them and help them through that process. And so it's really been a blessing, and been a blessing for the church, been a blessing for us. We're very grateful.
Yeah. Well, we've heard a lot of people talk in terms of during the time that services aren't happening, churches open, but people aren't coming to the building. It's been an opportunity to address some building issues. So,
it has.
Well, thanks, Rodney. We appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks live in your presentation. And we always appreciate the way you support the church network, and look forward to an opportunity to be with you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Phil. We love being a part and look forward to what is going to happen at the conference in a little different way, but it's still going to be good, still going to be helpful I think, for so many churches.
You bet. Take care.
All right. God bless.